Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Today I'm on Langfield Common. I'm heading up to possibly one of the better known swimming spots around here in Gaddings Dam. Both of them. You heard that right. On the way up I'm going to show you a few little bits of interest before we reach it. A little bit of a history, and then, to be honest, I'm probably going to get in it as well. So I've just started up on the path. We reach our first piece of interest. So this is our first interesting item. And I'm not too sure exactly what it is, but obviously this bit is quite solid, but you can see the foundations of something that's been here before, with metal sticking out. I would imagine it was a pulley system. You can imagine something going around there and maybe bringing the rocks down off the hilltop down to here and down to Lumbuts, which is the mill down in the bottom that Gaddings was built for, because obviously most of the mills around here were powered by water. So we're following a path that goes along the bottom edge of the hillside. Gaddings is right up on the top there. We are still a height up. There's another little water feature here. There are a few different paths you can take. You can go directly up, but it's not advisable. It can be quite slippy because it's been worn off so easily after so many people have visited. This is kind of the route I always take. Coming up in front of us is a place that's called Jail Hole Quarry. Okay, so I'm now in front of Jail Hole Quarry. In 1833, that's when work started on building both Gaddings dams, and the rock used to build it came from Jail Hole Quarry. Now it's rumoured that the people who were put to work here to dig out the stone, quarry the stone, were from Salford Correctional Institute. And apparently there are a few marks on some of these stones that may have been things like warden's marks. I don't think there's any definite proof that is actually what happened. Possibly just rather poor folk tale, I suppose, but I guess if you call it Jail Hole Quarry, there could be that connection. But anyway, very few rock faces I've climbed. A couple of years ago I did climb up the front of this. If you come and do that, be careful. So the other reason I take this route is also because I think it's the most picturesque. Not only do you have some wonderful quarries on the way up as well that you can look at. Well, I think some more evidence of previous buildings and construction, but also the view from here. And I hope you can see this. It's quite dull today, unfortunately. Studley Pike in the distance. But that is certainly one of my favourite views. Right, so nearly at the highest point of the walk at the top here, we're going to turn right and follow the hilltop all the way to Gaddings. Because of the nature of the weather, I am thinking it may be I end up doing the rest of this in voiceover if it's too windy. So apologies if it's been windy so far. Let's see how we get on. Okay, right turn Clyde. Okay, so we're now going to follow the top of the quarry all the way to Gaddings Dam. Near a number of the quarries that are up here, there's evidence of the remains of buildings. And I think this one has actually been reconstructed recently. because I think I remember it being much lower than this. I'm not sure quite what they would have been for, whether it was like shelter in bad weather, and they were up here working in the quarry, or whether, you know, the convicts are put to work, so the police officers, etc., and the wardens come and sit in here out the way. Although then wouldn't they run off? Possible. Not sure, but whoever's done this has done a fairly good job of putting it back together so far. Now, over the course of the video so far, you might have realised I keep talking about 2 Gaddings Dams. And you're possibly thinking, Matt, have you gone absolutely cuckoo bananas? Now, actually, no, I haven't. Allow me to explain. Right down in those trees there is the remains of Lumbert's Mill. There's now just a tower there. We sometimes call it Fielding's Tower. You can possibly also see another dam down there. Now we've reached Gaddings Dam wall, and there were 2 dams. Okay, so I'm standing in what was East Gaddings Dam. So the wall of the dam is still here. So yes, there was an east and a west, and round it there's a path round which have a number of bridges going over. I'll show you those in a moment. But this was emptied decades ago, and I'm sorry it's quite dark. There is a big gap there in the wall where it was breached deliberately by the owners at the time, and obviously it's been empty since then. So from here as well you can see where there would have been an overflow, almost like a tunnel that goes around. And actually this dam is what fed Horsewood Tunnel. So if you look up Horsewood Tunnel, you'll be able to see the bottom exit of that tunnel, which is a 250 metre tunnel that was built to take the water from the East Dam down into Lumbert's. Now there's still evidence of little bridges, and also you can see where they may have closed that and sealed it off to stop water getting through. So we're just seeing Gaddings Dam now for the first time. Once again, apologies for the dullness of the video, it's not coming out very well today. But Gaddings is actually one of a number of reservoirs that are up on this hillside, all part of a reservoir walk. So if you classed Gaddings as the first of those reservoirs, you would go past Warland Reservoir, I think it's called White Hazels Reservoir, Whitehome Reservoir, Blackstone Edge, which is at the furthest point, and then a long stretch round to Withens Clough. Just take a few miles, pack a picnic. Okay, so the reason I wasn't too sure about swimming in it today is because it's a Saturday in half term. Despite the clouds, it's actually quite nice, so there are a few people up here swimming today. As you know, I'm a fairly private person with these things, but we'll see. So, Gaddings hasn't always been this good looking, if you like. At various points it has been empty. One of which was during World War II, when it was possible that if an enemy plane was flying over, it could have been used as a reflections or the lights of the moon twinkling on it could have given away locations, so it was empty in the mid-40s. Another time it was empty was in 1960. I would have come down to the side of the reservoir to explain why. So one side of the dam we find a tunnel. So as always, if you watch my videos before, I've covered this tunnel before. but there is something inside which caused the reason for the dam to be empty in 1960. So inside here we have this wonderful phosphorescence which you can probably see glowing. I'm just walking on what was the outflow pipe, and here, if you can see on it, it's quite dark. It would have been a valve and a wheel, and you could have opened and closed that. You can see the pipe goes into the back. That would go into the dam, so they could open that and send the water out. But it had broken in 1960, so it was empty. So the overflow was actually cut off, and it took 2 years for the dam then to fill naturally. You can see this was a later addition, 1853. But of course, all this history is irrelevant if the only thing you're interested in at Gaddings is the beach. This is the beach. This is here naturally. It was for quite some time a secret, but it eventually appeared in top 10 secret locations to visit, and is now quite a tourist attraction. So you can see where the east dam was there. Looks to be actually quite bigger than Gaddings that's here. Okay, so here we are on the beach. It's a gorgeous evening. So inside it is quite rocky, so I'd always recommend wearing shoes. Let's head in. Right, see how far we can get. Okay, despite the sunshine, it is still freezing. So we seem to walk out for quite some distance. It doesn't get very deep. You can only see where I am there. If I do that, waist deep. I'm quite a way in so far. It's incredibly still, and I'm still walking. Okay, let's head out. So there we go. A little history of Gaddings Dam and a bit of a swim as well. Join me again soon. See where we end up. I better get dry. See you soon.